Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Oh boy. So first we have to put out a PSA. I messed up, y'all. I messed up. Z messed up. Okay. Shout out to DA. Shout out to Big Kev. Shout out to everyone who made sure to let Z know that that previous post that I responded to from Yanni. Yes, the post about the billionaire who said pretty much if you're serious, then you'll end up with a black woman. Shout out to all of you who made sure to tell Z, yeah, no, it's not real, right? It's not real, Z. Um, so thank y'all for that. I did not know. Um, yeah, so that part. Um, and so I I did so and yeah. Okay, yeah. Jake Zero, um, King Quest, Big Kev, DA. Thank all of you. So I didn't know that. Yeah, Jake. Thank you, Jake. Jake, thank you. Because so first, let's say this. That's my bad for not fact checking. I was too much in a rush to defend our image that I did not check to see how real that was. Right. So number one. Number two. This also goes back on Yanni and her subscribers for for being such in a rush to spite black men that they too didn't check. So they messed up, and then Z following them messed up, right? So my apologies, y'all. Yeah, and this goes to how easy it is to follow fake news on the internet and on social media, and I pride myself on being factually accurate as much as humanly possible. But clearly, you mess up. You mess up, right? You trip over yourself. So this is an example of that, right? Okay, getting to the main topic. Diallo Kenyatta and Skip Coons. Um, Skip Coons, sorry. Hopefully, many of you or all of you have checked out the link in the description. Um, we're going to first address the monologue, or not the monologue because it was two of them, the conversation that Diallo and Skip had concerning this bear versus man thing. And for those of you outside of the US, or those of you who don't have this ungodly obsession with social media the way Z does, right? And you actually live a real life more than Z does. You touch grass more than Z does. Um, there has been a conversation online, and it's permeated off of the internet, and mainstream media have picked up the question also. Would you rather be essentially in a forest with a bear, or in a cage stuck with a bear or a man? And more women than many of us would like to believe said they would rather be with a bear than with a strange man. Okay. And here comes all of the justification and reasons why. And many women found it funny, and some men, like Diallo, found it funny how men responded, because men responded, and this is men across the board of varying races, responded like, do you understand a bear's bite force? And do you understand how much, a bear can lift? And do you understand, like, you would rather be in a forest with a bear than a man? And for women and some men, that only showed how much the masses of men didn't understand what women were actually saying. What women were actually saying is that yes, a bear can be violent, but a bear isn't sadistic. Now, for those of us who have watched the bears versus wolves thing, that's debatable. Um, but a bear isn't preying on you the way a man is preying on you. This is the argument, right? This is the argument from women and some men, right? The issue we have here, and I said it, and upon further review of the conversation between Diallo and Skip, Diallo gets it. Skip gets it. Once again, this is about defanging men, right? We're not saying much to women. I will say this once again, like I said a couple nights ago, Diallo's a bit different. Diallo will go at the women and say, "Hey, by the way, y'all want patriarchy? I just want y'all to know, y'all do want patriarchy, right?" So Diallo's one of the few men on the left that will actually say to women, "By the way, I see you enjoying me wagging my finger at the men, but I just want you to know you ain't innocent in this either." Right? Now, the vast rest of men, both on the left and the right, but particularly on the left, I'm on the left so I can critique them more accurately, will never say that to the ladies. And that's where this conversation comes in. That's where Mr. Z comes in. First, to Diallo and Skip, I will say this. You got to convince the boys and the young men that they're the problem in significant number. Forget Z. Z's in his late 30s. Convince the boys and the men under the age of 30, under the age of 25, that they are the biggest threat to women. They are the problem. Convince them that. Convince them of that. To all the, and we watch this in the black community, especially the black community, black boys are largely raised by their single mothers, and those single mothers still can't convince their sons that they're the problem, and enough of a number that when those boys become men, they continue to beat up on themselves. Those boys come out here in the real world and date who, Z? Primarily black women who used to be black girls. Huh. See, it's easy to lie to your 13-year-old son, your 12-year-old son, your 7-year-old son, your 15-year-old son about how horrible men are and how horrible his dad was and how violent men are and how mean men are and how sexist men are, particularly in the black community, how colorist and featurist men are, and how black men aspire for patriarchy that white men have. It's easy to lie to your son about that until he gets out here in this real world and he starts dating, wait for it, your daughters. Huh? And then he realizes, wait a minute, the women are full of crap and they're hypocrites. They do want patriarchy. They just want the patriarchy where I provide, protect, and shut up. And they'll call that egalitarianism. Oh. Diallo gets it. He said it. Diallo's verbatim, well, actually not verbatim because I'm about to paraphrase it. Diallo pretty much said himself that the women want the trappings of patriarchy. Diallo, you get it. If we were to Thanos snap all black men in the black community, all the young black boys, into not aspiring for quote unquote white patriarchy, then you know what we would get? A whole lot of black women chastising black men, insulting black men, and black men's manhood. Wait for it. Wait a minute, Z. You mean the way they do now? Uh oh. Huh? If you had a community full of egalitarian minded black men that are attempting to show the world that there's a humanity outside of them being walking wallets and overglorified guard dogs, providers, protectors. If you were to have a community full of black men attempting to be human beings and not human doings, and you didn't work on the women, then you would have a community full of women holding black men to white patriarchal standards. Uh-oh. Kind of like you do now. This is the part of the conversation that makes everybody start cringing. because it speaks about how the women may possibly be more invested in patriarchy than the men are, particularly in the black community. Why, Z? Because there's a ugly part responsibility, a ugly part accountability that comes from if you remove men from protecting women from themselves and their own actions. Diallo, you're married. Now, I'm assuming your wife is progressive, and this may not apply to her. But Diallo, you, and especially you, Skip, you're in the South. Skip and Diallo, especially both of you being married men, y'all both know. Wait for it. That when women say protection, particularly black women, they're also telling you to protect them from themselves and the consequences of their own decisions. Uh-oh. Yikes. Exactly. And Jake says, you can't dismantle something that was never built. Y'all show me all the black patriarchs. Because last time I checked, when black women insult black men, they insult black men for not being patriarchal. Uh oh. When they compare black men to white men, they're insulting black men for not being white patriarchs. But you know, that part, right? Huh. So y'all got to convince y'all sons. Second, Mr. Z, and I would argue much of the black manosphere, we're not apologizing for our biology. We're not apologizing for being bigger, stronger, and faster than biological women. We're not walking around the world groveling at women's feet. Look, 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 look. I'm not a threat. I'm gonna kiss your ass. Every minute of every day, I'm gonna show you that I'm not a threat. And I'm gonna grovel. I'm gonna make myself small so that you don't feel like I'm a threat. So you don't tell me that I'm a threat. Tell them to go into force with the bear then. Huh? And while you're at it, tell black women they could go beat a bust down for some white dude also, or go eat vagina too. Black men are such a threat. Fine. Go end up with the wait a minute, white man in a white patriarchal society that we have seen has had unalived black women in his presence, and the cops say nothing to see here. But you know, yeah, that part. Huh. I guess that bear versus man thing don't apply to white men when it comes to black women. Anyway, and you could tell them to engage in same-sex loving relationships. Oh, wait a minute, what's that DV rate for same-sex loving black women again? Huh. Man versus bear, huh? Are you sure it's not for same-sex loving black women? Shouldn't they say woman versus bear? Anyway, yeah, right. We're not apologizing for being bigger, stronger, and faster than women. And even with that, what is the DV rate in Black America for women unaliving men in the Black community? For women, DV against men and children. Uh oh. Y'all want to have this conversation for real? For real? No, let's not do the interchangeable where we're talking about the black community 1 second and then we're talking about overall America the next second. Nope, 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 nope. If y'all want to focus on the black community, let's focus on the black community. Does anybody want to talk about black women's DV rate amongst each other for same-sex loving relationships, black women's DV rate with children, and black women's DV rate against men in the black community? Y'all want to have that conversation? Y'all sure in the black community y'all don't want to have the conversation that's really about black women versus bear? In the black community, the conversation would be flipped. Black men, would you rather be stuck in a forest with a strange black woman you don't know, or a bear? Or better yet, for the black community, would you rather be in the forest with a disgruntled girlfriend or wife or baby mom, or a bear? Let's ask black men that question. Uh oh. Thank you. And Mr. Shook to you says, if you include proxy violence, women's rates would skyrocket. Don't let a little thing like facts get in the way, huh? Diallo and Skip, do y'all really want to have the conversation about how much black? And Diallo's a little different. Once again, Diallo gets it, and he'll call it out. He won't go all the way though, because then it'll sound like beating up on black women. So we can't do that. But everybody else in the black community, particularly the black left, some of the black right, has a really difficult time admitting that black women are they're so desirous, right? They're so desirous of white patriarchy. They want black men to exhibit white patriarchy. They definitely want white men to exhibit white patriarchy. They want all of the bounty of white patriarchy. Huh? And Trail says, it is better to be in the corner of the roof of your house than be with a contentious woman. I thought it said quarrelsome woman. Either way. Right? Z, you remember the quarrelsome woman, but you couldn't say frankincense and myrrh the other day. Or was it myrrh? Don't ask. Don't ask. Mrs. Z be knowing stuff and then he don't be knowing stuff. That part. Right? Sounded like I've never been in church before. Anyway, as I said before, Diallo gets it. And I would argue Skip gets it also. But notice Diallo he didn't go all the way there. But Diallo actually made mention. Skip didn't. And therein lies the problem. The majority of the black community, that's both black men and black women, are like Skip, and they're not like Diallo. They're definitely not like Z, and they're not like the rest of the black manosphere. They will wag their finger and chastise the men all day from both sides of their mouth for not being accomplished enough and not checking off the markers of manhood as dictated by this white society, while also chastising black men for wanting to be patriarchs too much. Uh-oh. Okay. And Trell says contentious equals quarrelsome. Right. I won't. Right. And Namer says, don't forget to acknowledge your sponsor at the top of the chat. Sponsor sounds so funny because it sounds like it literally sounds like a relationship, like not even a really like it's like a chick, like Gil Gammy, you my sponsor. I'm sorry, Gil Gammy, I'm not into that lifestyle. Sponsor has a whole different connotation now. Shout out to all the women that's looking to be sponsored. Right? Man. Right? So Diallo gets it, right? And let me say this again. Diallo, you get it. As you said, ladies want the trappings of patriarchy. They refuse to let it go. These ladies, black women, hold black men to these standards in a vacuum. Diallo spoke to it. Now, he spoke to it for all of 5 seconds, but he spoke to it. And that's the part that, like, everybody, even FD has spoken to it a little bit when he was speaking about emotionally intelligent. Shout out to Miss Z. Right? A lot of this stuff that other black women are saying and other women in general, Miss Z cannot say that. I need a man that's emotionally intelligent. I wish Miss Z would. Right? I need somebody to hear me when I'm speaking. I need somebody to understand and feel what I'm saying. I wish Miss Z would. Huh? So FD has also spoken to this. They'll make tacit little admissions about how the women are also kind of sort of tiny, teeny, tiny bit toxic. And they're hypocrites. That part. But most of it, almost always in the black community, almost Z, always in the black community, we reserve our real disciplinarian energy for black men, but of course. We chastise black men, but of course. Huh? Huh. As I said before, these ladies aren't doing the social math. They think you can really have, and as Diallo said, you can really have the hyper productive climbing up the corporate ladder, climbing up the blue collar ladder for those of us that work factory jobs or we work outside with our hands and whatnot. Climb up that ladder, get the resources, financial resources, bring it back to wifey or baby mom or girlfriend with no patriarchy involved, without the stench of white patriarchy on us. That's why the women sound so schizophrenic. That's why they sound so hypocritical. They think you can have one without the other. Any of us who have ever engaged in this conversation, right? Have you ever had a conversation with a woman, white or black, Latina, Asian, but primarily, obviously, for us black women? But have you ever had a conversation with a woman and you would speak about millionaires or billionaires or lifestyle or whatever? And like, they really don't think these people are a-holes. Not just a-holes, like, these people don't have figurative, if not literal, unalive bodies under those Fortune 500 companies. They really think that was just hard work and grinding and ingenuity, right? And be able to pivot and able to move with the market. They really think that. Have you ever had a conversation with a woman and you'd be like, wait a minute, you just think these people are just good, smart people and that's how they got to where they are? Why? Because they want to divorce the idea that these people did underhanded things. They're a-holes. They might have did some illegal things, probably, most likely, almost always, to get to where they are. Right? It's the woman that turns a blind eye to the fact that her husband, boyfriend, works for one of these venture capital or one of these companies that, oh yeah, what we do is we work with the banks and then we take grandma's house. We do foreclosures here. So it could be a young family just starting out, they fall on hard times, we take the house. Grandma might only have 3-4 years left on the house. Granddad passed away. Sorry, grandma, you can't afford it. We take the house. Right? Huh. And that woman just refuses to. No, these people that they just work hard to get where are you white? Charles says Gates and Bezos are suspect as well. Pfft. Right? Charles says we know for certain that Zuckerberg and Musk are lizard people. Hey, Mark Zuckerberg, he got some weight on him now and he's fit and he grew his hair out a little bit. He ain't the little, I'm gonna say it. He's not the little ugly, like white lizard looking dude that he used to be. He's still Mr. Z. You're not even supposed to be talking about a man's look. I'll make this exception. He doesn't look as ugly as he used to look. Shout out to his Asian wife. Jesus Christ. It must be his personality. I ain't even gonna mention the other thing. Right? It's the money, but of course, see. Right? Shout out to Jeff Bezos for looking like Voldemort. What they say, there's no such thing as an ugly billionaire, apparently. Right? Huh. So we have to be honest about how invested women are in the patriarchy. See, y'all make it sound like the women are not as invested, and I'm going to argue more invested in the patriarchy. Black women are incensed they do not get to be white women. And Diallo and Skip, y'all got to grapple with that. Y'all think it's just a little internet and social media thing. Maybe it's, you know what? and I've said this often. Maybe y'all don't really like understand the words behind the message, but y'all not dumb. Diallo's definitely not dumb, right? The women want patriarchy. Why, Z? Because they do not want the responsibility of their decisions. Black women hate that they have to live with the weight of the responsibility of their decisions, and they're angry and resentful at black men because for them, white men put white women in the position that they don't have to deal with all of the weight of their decisions. And for many black women, it's not fair, right? And Gilgami, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And Gilgami says, "Greetings, all. What's going on, bro? On the East Coast in America right now, it's morning. It's morning, right? What's going on?" Shout out to Nema. Nema says, "Zuck can't even look normal when he sips a glass of water, bro." Shout out to Trump because if there was any people that actually, if there was a real quote unquote lizard people, Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg. Elon is a little different because of the hair surgery. If you ever saw him before the hair surgery, I suggest y'all look that picture up and get your 5 chuckles in because he looked like a naked mole rat, right? Huh. If there was anyone that, if there was a real lizard people and it was elites, I'm telling y'all, Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos. Especially not Mark Zuckerberg, sorry, Jeff Bezos. His eyes, like one of them is a little bit bigger than the other one, right? It kind of gives you borderline Uncle Ruckus vibes with the eyes, huh? That part. Throughout the conversation, someone, a woman in the live comments, said, "It sounds like Z is saying, what about the women?" Wait for it. Wait for it. Shout out to my subscribers, because y'all already know where Mr. Z is going with this. Once again, the lady said, "It's like Mr. Z, or it sounds like Mr. Z is saying, what about the women?" Wait for it. That's because Mr. Z is saying, what about the women? It don't sound like, no, that's exactly what Z is saying. What about the women? Yes, Z is saying, what about the women? You don't defang and strip black men of the patriarchy they never had. And it's this, you know, from FD Signifier to Foreign Man in a Foreign Land to Teen Noir to Fab Socialism to Diallo, Kenyatta, and Skip Coons. You see this thing where everyone's trying to regulate the men's behavior, and women get to just run amok and do whatever the hell and say whatever the hell. Huh? And every once in a while, you'll have FD or Diallo Kenyatta do a little tacit. Okay, there, ladies, there. You might be doing just a smidge too much. That's the most you ever get. Yes, Z is saying, what about the women? You don't. This is where Z comes in for real. This idea that we're going to continue to regulate the behavior of black men, and we're not going to say anything to the women, and the fallout of that, of regulating black men's behavior, what they can and can't say, what they can and can't do, and when the women feel that, we don't tell them anything. Like, oh yeah, we defang them. Oh yeah, we tilted the chessboard in your favor. What is he saying? When you get a 60-40 split college enrollment, women to men, when you have more and more speed dating and matchmaking events where a whole lot of women go and the men don't go, when you have more and more women saying men are not approaching men, we're practically throwing ourselves on men in these bars, and they're not even biting, they're not initiating anything. We are damn near like about to touch them, and they refuse to talk to us. Everybody gets real quiet and doesn't say anything to the women like, "Oh, by the way, yeah, that's what comes with patriarchy. I thought we were trying to dismantle it." And if we're trying to dismantle patriarchy and this kind of hegemonic masculinity, this white idea of manhood, then on the other side of that would be maybe you go and walk up and talk to him, and maybe, OZ, you about to say it, maybe you offer to buy him a drink. Uh-oh. And maybe when you see him on the street, you ask him, "Hey, you find you kind of attractive, what are you doing Saturday night? Huh?" See, once again, the ladies want to keep a certain part of patriarchy, but not the other part. And our society is defanging men in general. Black men don't really have it. And the fallout of that, no one says anything to the women. No one says to women, by the way, as we make this world more quote unquote egalitarian, there are certain expectations of men you can't have anymore. There are certain things that you thought were given that you can't anticipate anymore. Huh? Those expectations, you have to dismantle them. The man paying for first dates automatically, that might have to go. The man approaching you, that might have to go. The man being a hyper provider, that might have to go. Huh? For those of you that recall when Mr. Z jumped on the panel, right before I got off the live with Diallo and Skip, I brought up Anne Marie Slaughter. I couldn't recall her name at the time, but I brought up what she said. When you tell women what it's gonna cost, when you tell women you have to reconsider these things that you consider quote unquote manly if you want a world that's quote unquote equal. And Anne Marie Slaughter says that's when women get off the train. Women get off the train when you tell them you can't be boss girl with the boss dude. One of y'all got to take the backseat in your career. One of you have to be the primary caregiver. And that's when women jump off the train. And our society is not saying anything to the women. So the women still have this patriarchal expectation while the world, quote unquote, becomes more egalitarian. So, yes, Z is saying, what about the women? Tell them the truth. I said it to FD Signifier. Tell the ladies the truth and watch them throw a fit. Ladies, you might get highly educated and your man isn't. You might earn more than your man, significantly more than your man, right? You might be the head of household financially. You might have to approach your man, your future boyfriend, your future husband, right? And watch the women throw a fit when you tell them the truth and tell them what it's going to look like. And once again, Gil Gami, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Watch the women throw a fit, right? Listening to Diallo speak and Skip speak, especially Skip, because Diallo gets it, but he's still chastising the men. Let me be very clear. For the most part, the men, particularly in the black community, we don't care what women are talking about no more. God damn, Z, you said it. Not you, Z, you said it. Yeah, because the women are hiding their misandry behind 4 and 5 syllable words in these creative concepts. And Diallo, you're not dumb. You see it. You played the game, though. Let me say that again. Slow. Black women are hiding their misandry, their anger at who didn't choose them when they were 16 and 17 years old. Yes, Diallo, it's a thing. Diallo, I'm not speaking about 20 some odd year olds. I'm speaking about 30 and 40 some odd year old black women, some of them professional, who are still mad about who didn't find them attractive when they were 15 and 16 years old. And so everything they do and say is to spite black men. I know, Diallo, there's no way. Diallo, I promise you, Diallo, this is a thing. Diallo, I promise you this is a thing. No, it's not just the internet thing. Diallo, are you having these conversations with women? Yes, even women that occupy your space. Don't leave the conversation. Let them talk and find out how many black women and women writ large are still resentful for not being prom queen 25 years ago. And so much of the rhetoric that they have towards men is because they were not prom queen, they weren't the it girl, they weren't part of the cool girls table 25 and 30 years ago. I kid you not. Huh? Y'all gotta be honest that the women want pick and choose patriarchy. Y'all have to be honest that many of these women, I'm talking about adult professional women, some women with children, some women without, some women with advanced degrees, some women with PhDs, some women that are attorneys. That includes black women. When it comes to intimate relationship, arrested development. When it comes to black men, arrested development. When it comes to sex and intimacy, arrested development. You damn dare talking to a 12-year-old. Huh? And so, yes, they'll jump on all these trends to spite men because they're still mad about who didn't ask them to prom 25 years ago. Yes, Diallo and Skip, this is a real thing. I promise you, it's a real thing. Huh? You talk to your average black women, the ones that speak about colorism all day, every day, and you realize that the experiences that they're mentioning are pretty much experiences they had before the age of 20 when it comes to quote unquote colorism. In other words, they're mainly talking about colorism when they were children, if we'd have believed them in the first place. Huh? They're talking about who didn't find them attractive and who chose the light skinned chick when we were in high school, everyone. These women are in their late 20s, their 30s, their 40s, still angry about the jock choosing the cute little light skinned cheerleader over them 20 years ago. And so all of their arguments. Let me do a Rogus. I can't do the Rogus. I can't do the record rewind. I can't do it. I tried. I tried. I tried. Sorry, Rogus. I couldn't do it. I ain't even gonna try. Right. Let me say that one more again. Yes, they are angry. Every single argument, every framing of the argument is really about who didn't choose them 20 years ago. Z, that don't make no sense. Yes, it does. If you think about, I'm going to spite men, and I don't know if it's a conscious thought or not. I am going to spite and talk crap about these black men because when we were 17, I had to go to prom with my homegirls because all of you boys at high school thought we were unattractive. And so I will intellectualize my misandry for the rest of my life. Diallo, if I see it, there's no way you don't see it. No, Z, that's not a real thing. Then you got to go touch grass. You got to go live in the real world because the real black women, the black women I'm in community with, they don't talk like that. Are you sure? Or have you just been ignoring it? Yes, the Hotep sisters too. Yes, the pro-black sisters too. Are you sure? Are you sure? Z, I don't know. You got to get off the internet, Z, because that's not a real thing. Are you sure? Y'all want to have a real conversation about how many, and by the way, this is a reckless stream just in case Z has to pause, right? Don't say it in the comments. Don't say it in the comments. Are y'all sure? Huh. And a split gym says bounty bounty of white patriarchy is a bar. Clip it. And Salty says intellectualize misandry. Yeah. So me and Toya formed that, right? That was me, and shout out to Toya, right? Hopefully, we see the sister again soon. But yeah, yeah, that was me and Toya that formulated that one. Shout out to Trell, because me and Trell are the ones who formulated NASIC. Negroes ain't ish industrial complex, which, if Obsidian is to be believed, will be in his next book. So look out for that. I should have charged Obsidian ass. Obsidian, I want my payment. Pay me, Negro. Right? You about to sell hundreds, thousands of books. I want my money. I'm about to sue Obsidian. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Right? Huh. You know, Skip speaks about women's humanity and men not seeing women's humanity. Right? And I say to that, Skip, women don't view men's humanity as non-negotiable. Right? But Skip was speaking about women's humanity being non-negotiable and how we need to see that as non-negotiable. But women have already fought to be seen as women without children and without a man. I still see a woman as a woman, regardless if she has children or if she's married. She's still a woman. Now, here's the question, Skip. Is men's humanity non-negotiable? Uh-oh. If a man doesn't have children, he doesn't have a wife or girlfriend, he's not taking care of a woman, he doesn't have parents that he's looking after, is his humanity acknowledged and seen? Or is his humanity intricately linked to whether he's providing for someone, whether he's financially taking care of someone, whether someone is under his wing, under his protection? Is men's humanity acknowledged in our society, particularly black men, by black women? Uh-oh. Huh? Huh? Trill, there's a reason why Dr. Tommy Curry says man not. And Trill says, are not men? But Trell, here's the thing. Black men wouldn't say that. There's a reason why Tommy Curry says man not. He could have easily named it Aren't I a Man and remixed Sojourner Truth. Why didn't he? Because Aren't I a Man, we're not trying to be white men. Ooh. We're not appealing to this society to be white men. Black women, you want to say the same thing? Uh-oh. Huh? And Lion says, yo, Z, did you get the email about the billionaire saying black women are grown-ups? He never tweeted that. He never said that. Yeah. I covered that earlier this morning. I messed up. I followed the story. I posted. I did a whole live stream about it, right? And come to find out, it's not even a real thing. I already did my apology and everything, right? And that's my bad for not fact checking it before the fact. I saw Yanni posted it. I just went after it and I attempted to dismantle it instead of fact checking first. Right? So that's my bad. And for all of you that were here for the stream from yesterday where I covered Yanni posting, Real Talk with Yanni, posting in her community tab that a white billionaire essentially said black women are loyal and they will guard your ass interest. Apparently he never said that. Right? And so my apologies for the whole entire thing, for streaming, for responding to that. Come to find out it's not even true. Yeah. Right? And yeah, Lion, so I did cover it. Yeah, I covered it already. Man. Let me read this one first. Shout out to Oliver the Great. Thank you for the super chat. He says, unethical doesn't mean evil, sir. I mean, I have to afford my 2 jets, damn it. So go ahead and pee in this bottle because I only gave you 2 seconds of lunch break. Forget what the federal lunch break demand is. Screw it. I'm gonna give you so much work to do that technically, legally, I'm not breaking the rules. I'm not breaking the law. But if you know better, I'm gonna give you so many packages that you have to deliver that you'll just take this little 5 minutes of lunch break and urinate in bottles. Right? And when the federal government investigates me, I'll just shrug and be like, I don't know. I didn't tell them to urinate in bottles. I don't know what's going on there. Exactly. Trail said, "Oh, should be damned." Right? Huh? I don't know. I didn't tell them to urinate. That's against company policy. I didn't say that. I don't know why they're doing that. Huh? Oh, wait a minute. Isn't Jeff Bezos the billionaire? Huh. Let's see. Billionaire check, white check, cheated on wife, got divorced, got engaged to the side chick, check, didn't skip a beat, check, richer than he was before the divorce, and it took him all of 2 seconds to achieve it, check. Huh. Yeah. Was able to just gift Van Jones $100 million after going into space, check. Has his own goddamn space company, check. Black men, I want y'all to understand they're comparing you to Jeff Bezos. Talk about patriarchy. Yeah, that's patriarchy. That's full fat patriarchy. Government contracts that they're renting server space from you. Check. Black men got that. Stop it. Huh? Lose a bidding war to Elon Musk. Throw a temper tantrum. Call your state senator. Your state senator goes back to Congress, lobbies Congress to write you in to the bill you just lost. Black men, they're comparing us to him. Right? Line says, have you seen his boat? No, I haven't seen Jeff Bezos' boat. I'm pretty sure it's a goddamn size of a state, of a city. Right? I'm almost certain it's crazy. And once again, this is funny. This is funny, Oliver. Unethical doesn't mean evil, sir. I mean, I have to afford my 2 jets, damn it. And once again, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Right? Huh. And what I respect about this space, y'all already know Mr. Z is a leftist, but I respect the fact that, as Big Kev said, we're mainly in the middle politically, so we can make fun of the left and the right, right? We can make fun of the capitalists and the feminists. We can make fun of the snowflakes and the I am man, I'm hard as nails, I chew rocks in the brick and morning for breakfast. Both of y'all sound dumb. A real man don't cry, don't show no emotions, don't sulk, don't get sad. You chew rocks for breakfast. What Dave Ramsey said, you got gravel in your stomach. What? Right? Nor are we in need of safe space. And it's funny because if anyone in this society needs safe space, it'll be black men. Nor are black men so fragile in the black manosphere that we need a safe space, although the black manosphere does act as a safe space for us. Right? Vince said, I'm a Democratic Republican and a Republican Democrat. Hysterical. Right? Huh. Throughout the conversation and not towards the end, but they spoke of, and this is once again Diallo and Skip, essentially said, and not even essentially, they did say this, Black men respond to patriarchy the way white folks respond to racism. Oh, there we go. There we go. Huh. Black men respond to patriarchy the way white folks respond to racism. Patriarchy? What patriarchy? Women are employed and women are doing this more and that. Okay, let's go into it. Was the black community or has the black community ever been patriarchal? I think Diallo and Skip really haven't really grappled with the idea that the black community has never truly been patriarchal. Not on the plantation, not during Jim Crow, not post Jim Crow. When has the black community ever truly been patriarchal? I'm not talking about individual black homes and black families here and there and scattered. No, when has the black community been patriarchal? I'm not talking about aspiring for patriarchy because the Bible and because of religion. Whether you Baptist or Pentecostal or Seven Day or just straight up Christian or Catholic. Oh my God, I'm not going to do this. It's going to take forever. No, I'm saying actually practicing it, not aspiring for it. Uh-oh. Has the black community ever been patriarchal? So to say that black men view patriarchy the way white folks view racism, which is this knee-jerk denial, right? Huh. The question is, once again, have black men ever been in a position to truly be patriarchal? And if that's the case, then why is it that when black women chastise black men, they chastise black men for not being patriarchal? Goddamn. Right? Huh. And Passport OG says, and thank you for the super chat, Dr. T showed 7228 black women, black men at Howard University yesterday. What? So Howard is producing, or how? So that's who's enrolled right now, right? 72 to 28. We damn there 3/4 of Howard are women. We're nearly 3/4 of Howard are women. Right? If y'all think y'all been saying who wants to be with average anyway, huh? Right? 3/4 of Howard are women. Shout out to Dr. T. Hassan Johnson. 3/4 of Howard are women. Diallo, Skip, patriarchy, right? So these women go on, not all, some, will be kind, and they're in Congress, they're working for local and state government, they're in entertainment, right? They become educators, and many of them intellectualize their misandry with no pushback. And then we are to sit here as black men and have FD Signifier and Foreign Man in a Foreign Land and Diallo Kenyatta and Skip Coons act as the buffer for these particular black women that are 3/4 of Howard's enrollees. And y'all act as the buffer while those women intellectualize their misandry. While talking about, oh no, we just want an egalitarian community when the black men, they're in community with us and we don't have to play by these patriarchal rules. And I'm seen as a woman even if I don't have kids and even if I'm not married and even if I give black men the middle finger. Why can't I give black men the middle finger and they still do for me? I mean, it's only constructive criticism. Y'all gonna continue to let black women intellectualize their misandry, and we're gonna make sure Howard is goddamn 95% black women. Have fun. Remember, these are the women that turn around in about 5, 7, 10 years. Why are we told to settle? White women aren't told to settle. White women don't have to settle. I have a college degree. I want a man with a college degree. I want a man with this type of education and this type of money and this type of status. Diallo, just because you may not have gone through that, right, does not mean it's not a thing. Are y'all sure that black women aren't more invested in patriarchy than black men, to the point where they said if we can't have the patriarchal black men, we'll be the patriarchs ourselves? God damn, there's a reason why we call it the gynocracy. We do not call it a matriarchy. Y'all call it a matriarchy, if you're willing to even acknowledge that. We call it gynocracy because the black women literally want to be white men. They're jealous of white women, but they want the power of white men. Huh? 72-28. Huh? Wow. 72-28. But the black community is a patriarchy, remember? Or black men are aspiring for white patriarch being white patriarchs. Z couldn't get it up. Couldn't get it up. Sorry, y'all. Right? Back to Skip speaking about men viewing women's humanity as non-negotiable. And to that I say, when black women are divorcing black men within 5 years, often and more often than not, it's because of finances and financial issues. Are we sure that black women see black men's humanity as non-negotiable? When the divorce rate in the black community, or better yet, when black women file for divorce at something like 80%, right? When they're married to black men, are we sure that it's not black women that don't see black men's humanity as non-negotiable? Trell, it's funny because it's true. And Trell says, I don't care about the environment. I will manifest my success. Oh boy. What's going on, Doc? Dr. Thunder in the house? Right? And once again, Passport OG, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Huh? This idea that men view women's humanity as negotiable. Look, man. The problem Mr. Z has with this is that we're living a real life. And there are real black women who are misbehaving in front of everyone. And black men are told to ignore it. Even when black men have to deal with the consequences of those women's bad behavior, of their messed up thought process and feelings. We watched night after night after night women of varying ages, varying backgrounds, varying classes, varying education levels, varying shapes, varying sizes, varying ages, as I said before. We watch woman after woman, primarily black women, call into Kevin Samuel show for 2 years. We watched him call into his Instagram show. We watched him call into YouTube. And we watched those women boil men down, black men down, to nothing but a walking wallet or a walking ATM machine and an overglorified guard dog. And Skip Coons has the unmitigated gall to speak about black men seeing black women's humanity as non-negotiable. In other words, they're a woman regardless if they fit into whatever stereotype of being a woman or not that you put out there. Are you sure about that? Are you sure it's not the women who view black men's humanity as non-negotiable? Are you sure? And Vince says they're not paying attention. It gets even worse because it's not just Kevin. Daily wrap up crew season, name them. You bring the women on and they tell you, if I earn more than you, I will belittle you. Literally say, if I earn more than you, I will belittle you. Keita Rose says that men are insecure because when the women make more, the men know that he's the B in the relationship. The B word in the relationship. Huh. Huh. You have women saying, of course we see men as nothing but wallets. This is their way of justifying it because it's not like you're emotionally intelligent. It's not like you're kind. You don't emote the way I emote, so you're not emotionally intelligent. You have a limited vocabulary compared to me. You don't move the way I move. You don't think and process feelings the way I think and process feelings. So of course you're supposed to be a big dumb jock. Huh? Right? Of course you're a big dumb jock. Or you're supposed to be a big dumb jock. Because you don't move and think and feel the way I move and think and feel. So the best you can do is enter this relationship as a walking ATM machine in a shield. We're not even gonna say guard dog because dogs are animals and they have feelings too. No, a shield. You're an inanimate object. You're an ATM machine and a shield. Right? Huh. And Skip is speaking about men acknowledging women's humanity. Y'all not. There's no way y'all living on the same planet Z's living on. There ain't no way. Oh, good point. Yeah, right. And Black Masculine says, and let me read this right now. And thank you for the super chat. Right, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And Black Masculine says, don't forget walking fire extinguisher. Translation: putting out all the flames and the fires in her life, most of which she started herself. Goddamn, pyro, huh? Pyro, and talk about flames and salty. Yo, on fire, bro. Thank you, and thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Right? Huh? And Shrell says, "You're a dildo ninja." Black Uru strikes. Yeah, right. Right? Huh? Thank you. And Lion says, I've noticed a lot of men's IQ free falls when we start talking intersexual dynamics. And listening to Diallo speak, I don't know how true that is for as many men as I thought before. I think many of us, because of our own concepts of freedom, our own concepts of fairness, we lopside the table on purpose in favor of the women. After engaging with Diallo and Lion, thank you for the cash app. Thank you for the cash app. After engaging with Diallo and after engaging with FD Signifier and reading certain articles and the black men are the white racists or the white supremacists of the black community. And remember, when they call themselves very smart brothers in the articles they were putting out some years ago. After reading those, right? After reading um Dr. Danielle Prokop um in her little mini tiny article thingamajigger. Shout out to BGS. He's like pretty much her her editing skills or her art. Yeah, I think it had all type of grammatical errors and whatnot. After reading these things, after watching a lot of these people's think piece, you realize that they want to lopside the conversation and the argument in the favor of the women because they've bought into the idea that maybe women aren't more moral than men, but they're better, more advanced human beings than men. Men are still attempting to seek power, while more women, more often than not, are attempting to seek justice. And because women understand what it means to be on the wrong side of a power dynamic, they're more likely to bring more order and fairness to this planet, to society. I think they really missed the proxy violence part, right? After listening to FD, after having a conversation with him, after listening to Diallo Kenyatta and having a conversation with him, after watching Geechee and Dr. Jared Ball speak about whatever documentary they watched that was speaking, I want to say about the Black Panthers, and Angela Davis came on. I want to say they said it was Angela Davis. And they brought up some weird gender dynamic about the Black Panthers, and you can see that it bothered Dr. Jared Ball and it bothered Geechee, and Dr. Jared Ball made mention of it, but he let it go. You can tell, as we were told by some of the PhDs in this space, black men have an issue with this. They see it, they don't say much. They either don't say anything or they don't say much. They touch on it and let it go. I will say with Diallo, it's a bit different, but he's still playing softball. So it is intersectionality weaponized against black men. There is no other way to say it. It is intersectionality weaponized against black men. Point blank, period. Right? And Jiggin says, honestly, I think Diallo is making a business decision to toe the line. Okay, I'm conflicted on this. I'm not gonna lie to you, Jiggin, because I don't know if Diallo cares about money that much. I'm not saying he doesn't, right? So I'm not. How am I saying this? I'm leaving space for both the idealism and the money, right? Because I think he's a true believer, right? I think he's a true believer. I don't know if it's the money. The outcome is still the outcome regardless. The motives, now that's what we're debating right now. There's a distinction without a difference because on the other side of the equal sign, it's still going to be what it's going to be. If it's seven, it's still going to be seven regardless of how we got there. But I don't know if it's the money or if he's a true believer. And I lean more towards him being a true believer, right? I lean more to him being a true believer. And I think a couple of brothers pretend to be true believers when it really is the money, like you said, or they just don't want to upset the apple cart. They see how vicious black women can be, both in person, black women academics, black women professionals, black women on social media and the internet, because we've grown up. Most of us still come from predominantly black environments, raised by our single mothers, And even for those of us who our father was part of our life, mom divorced him when we were young. Many of us come from these environments. It's only a relative handful of us that grew up like Sarge Willie Pete. Most of us come from, even if your father was involved in your life, single single family homes, mom. We were mainly surrounded by mom and grandma and aunts. So we know how vicious black women can be towards each other and towards men. We know. Oh yeah, I'm gonna speak on that in a minute, Tro. Right? We know. And so I think for many of us, it is a subconscious calculus not to upset the women. Some of us grow out of it. Some of us mature out of it. Some of us say to hell with that. But I would argue most of us across the board, outside of the black manosphere, I'm talking about black men writ large, from your hood brothers all the way up to the educators, to the professionals, blue collar, white collar, to the brother that can barely scrape and buy $25,000, all the way up to the millionaire brothers. Right? Think about it. Steve Harvey, Shaq, right? You got the ace metaphors. You have the Derek Jacksons. You have all these people, whether they believe it or not, whether their father was part of their life or not. We all know how vicious black women's mouth can be. Y'all saw that clip that Dr. T played with that black woman talking to the man, "Get off your vagina," and that's not the word she used. If you're gonna cry, go cry in the car. Small D energy and all that type of talk she was using. Right? So I think it's a calculus to just not have that type of energy thrusted on you. Right? Look at the think pieces in the videos that black women have put out because a handful of NFL players got drafted and they have white girlfriends. Huh? Look how quick black women are to call black men all type of sassy. Now they can't just call you gray. Shout out to Closure Collision. I didn't realize that is the way we're supposed to say it now because of social media and the internet. Right? So now they can't say gray as an insult, although some of them still are. So now they calling you on top of sassy, which means the same thing. It equates to the same thing. Which is essentially calling you less of a man because you won't do what black women tell you to do. Right? Y'all type of sassy and zesty now. Where is Diallo to speak about that? Where's Skip Coons to speak about that? Once again, let me take Diallo out of that. He might. Dr. Jed Ball? Nope. Geechee? Nope. Skip? Nope. FD Signifier? Probably not. Foreign Man in the Foreign Land? Nope. Professor Odie? Nope. Consciously? Nope. T1J? Nope. Right. Huh. So once again, Saul, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. He said, well, yeah, once again, thank you for the other super chat. Intellectualize misandry, right? Yeah. Because that's what it is. And I might have to find a way to say to maybe in 2 or 3 words find a way to speak about emotionalizing your misandry, right? Emoting your misandry. I'm working on it. I'm working on it, right? because that's the other tactic, appealing to people's sense of not morality. It would be their sense of emotion or something along those lines, right? Which ends up being we end up in a very misandrous place, right? Wouldn't it be appeal to? It's not appeal to reason. It's not appeal to logic. Appeal to emotion, misandry. No, that's too long. Anyway, but yeah, because I'm watching men, intelligent men, educated men, stumble across women using an appeal to emotion that eventually leads us down the road of anti-black misandry. I'm speaking about black women in particular. So they may not be the ones intellectualizing their misandry. They may not have the vocabulary. They may not be, Bowser. Bowser is good at that. She's the intellectualized misandry type. I'm speaking about the women who might be less talented in that way. And so they appeal to your sense of they appeal to your feelings, they appeal to your emotions, and in a weird way get you to practice proxy violence against other black men in the form of rhetoric, right? Yeah, exactly. And from Africa I came says appeal to people's empathy, right? Appealing to people's empathy, yeah. Emotional dog whistle, yes, yeah, yeah. So, right? Okay, okay, that's what. Okay, I'll continue with that then. And Saul says it's it's the emotional dog whistle. Yeah, yes. Okay, so I'll keep it. I'll keep with that. Huh? Right. I'll continue with that then. It is an emotional dog whistle to other black men, obviously black women, but to other black men to regulate other black men. So this is where Skip comes in. This is where Diallo comes in. This is where FD signifier comes in, right? This is where foreign man in a foreign land comes in. This is where Dr. Boyce Watkins comes in, right? Steve Harvey, name them. And we watch men play this game with women. And to me, the clearest example recently is the Shaq and Shawnee situation, where you have a woman who says she doesn't know if she ever loved her ex-husband. She said she don't know if she ever loved him. And we watch women say, yeah, I mean, he did mistreat her, he cheated on her, and he did her so wrong. And we watch other men say, yeah, you know what? I get it. And Shaq say, you know what? I don't know if I would have loved me either. I get it. And everybody ignores the fact that she said she don't know if she ever loved him. She didn't say she don't know if she was still in love with him after he cheated. She didn't say, I don't know if I was ever in love with him after one day we got into an argument and he barked on me. She didn't say, I don't know if I ever loved him after we had our first child and he started to treat me different. No, she said she don't know if she ever loved him. That means from the second she met him to now, she don't know if she ever loved him. Shawnee is saying that she doesn't know if she was ever in love with Shaq from the second she met him to now. And everybody pretended like they didn't hear what they heard. Willie D is another one. And thank you for actually saying that the black toxic masculinist, because what that reminds me of is this idea of community and how there's this assumption that black women are far more for community than black men. And so black men are always hit upside the head with the idea of, well, you're not for community. And this is where Willie D comes in. This is where FD Signifier comes in. This is where Skip Coons comes in, which is this idea. And I want to be very clear. When y'all say community, let me tell you what Z hears, and I'm pretty sure most of the Black Manosphere hears. Clean up men. The silence is on purpose, y'all. Clean up men. When y'all say community, Z hears clean up men. If y'all recall, a couple nights ago, what did Skip try to? Where did he try to go? Community. I don't hear community from you, brother. Oh boy. What was FD Signifier trying to say when we had our last conversation? When he brought up the Black Panthers? Community. Translation, let Black women misbehave. Let them be misandrous because they're mad they're not white women. Let them talk all type of crazy. Let them insult us. But to be part of community, brother, to be part of community, you got to ignore that. As a matter of fact, not only ignore it, play it down and beat up on yourself and other Black men too in her presence. That's how you show you're part of the community. Do like FD Signifier and just chuckle off Black women's misandry. Laugh it off. Be quote unquote resilient. Ignore that Black women are incensed they're not upper middle class and rich white women. Ignore it. Let them say all their misandrous stuff. Let them monopolize all of these professional spaces. Let them do it. Let them hobnob and knob slob with white folks, with white men, and use that leverage to gain more and more position in the society while chastising and punching down, I said punching down, to Black men. Shout out to Tiffany Cross. Get in line with behind Black women. Huh? Because community means Black men being there, rain, sleet, snow, sun, hail, regardless of what Black women say or do, even if it's against Black men themselves. Oh boy. Community. Then you wonder why so many Black men give the middle finger to community. You wonder why we have this contingent of reactionary brothers that said to hell with community. I might do things to spite the community. I wonder why. When community has been made for not for Black people to find some type of respite or some type of safe space away from the perniciousness of white racism. No, for Black women to play footsie and do more than that with white racist society, to punch down on Black men, to insult Black men, to compare Black men to any man, even woman, and deem Black men lacking. And then when it all falls apart, for Black women to come back to, wait for it, community Black men to get patched up again. Right? Huh? If that's what community is, community is where Black women get to dance on Kobe Bryant's grave because he wasn't married to a Black woman, and we all ignore it. I didn't even mention Kevin Samuels. Because y'all be like, well, I kind of get it. I mean, he was insulting Black women, and he did say they were built like linebackers, and okay, fine. Explain Kobe Bryant, right? Community has meant for decades now a place where Black women can run community while insulting Black men for running the community haphazardly. What? play footsie with white racist society, punch down on black men, intellectualize their misandry, emotional dog whistle other black men to do their dirty work on other black men. And that's community. Oh boy. Right? That's community. And Salty says, but the patriarchy was a historical fact. It was color purple. It was real. By the way, we need to give Whoopi the smoke, right? Up recent articles. What happened? Wait, what? Whoopi wrote an article, a recent article about it? Huh. And you're right. And rest in peace, Kevin. I think we really, and it's going to be us to do it because nobody else in the black community, and definitely no one outside the black community is going to ever do it. Really grapple with what the color purple did to the relationship between black men and black women. And as Kevin said, the color purpling of the black community, where everything between black men and black women, every relationship between black men and black women viewed through the lens of pernicious, and I'm going to say the word, screw it, abusive, harmful, predatory black men, right? Okay. And Saul says, "No, I was trying to say, look up recent articles. Whoopi Goldberg need the smoke again." Oh, okay. I know the black woman that had an inferiority complex and allowed for white men to put blackface on and walk the red carpet holding her hand. I know those women ain't talking. Whoopi, huh? I know the black woman who allowed white boyfriends, husbands, whatever the hell, to walk around here with blackface on in front of her isn't telling us anything. I know that ain't. I know that's not it. Huh? Y'all can say what y'all want to say, dear black women. How many how many white women do y'all see walking around here? Asian women, Latina women who have black boyfriends and husbands, and I keep on messing up. Those white women are walking around here with blackface on. Huh? Huh. So at the end of the day, I just think everybody's playing in black men's faces. Other black men, white racist society, black women, non-black folks. Huh. People are just playing in black men's faces. That's where we are. And black men are just supposed to eat it. Eat it, ignore it, right? Huh. Because that's how you show you're part of community and you're sensitive to the issues of black women. Skip was speaking, and I think he said he went to a panel or he went somewhere, and he was listening to black women speak, and then he realized he didn't really know black women. These are the people that raised him. These is his, in the way he was saying, this is his mother, this is his grandmother, and he realized, and he said he had to sit there in silence because he realized he didn't really know black women. I know, I know, Skip. Shout out to you, and I'm not going to dismiss the way you felt in that situation. Skip, 40 some odd million black people in America. You think black women know black men? Black women are writing articles about how horrible black men are. Black women are running around the black community and outside the black community with a goddamn blowhorn speaking about how horrible black men are. The marriage rate in the black community, and I hear you, Diallo, I hear you. I'm going to mention this. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. The marriage rate in the black community is in the dumps. What is it, 20 some odd, 30%? Black women file, when black women do get married to black men, they file for divorce within 5 years at damn near 80%. Do black women know black men? Skip? But we don't care. No, we do. Do we demand that black women know black men? Black women get to intellectualize their misandry. They get to be sexist, little mean, condescending a-holes who get to theorize about black men. Shout out to Dr. T. Dr. T said he was on a panel, and a black woman said, if you want to know anything about black men, go watch Boys in the Hood. Oh boy. That's a whole, if I'm not mistaken, PhD saying if anything you need to know about black men. If I'm not mistaken, this was a black woman PhD or at least advanced degree, masters or whatnot. Anything you need to know about black men, just watch Boys in the Hood. Are y'all sure black women know black men? But they don't have to, because they know they'll have Diallo and Skip intellectualize their misandry back to the rest of us. Right? Lion says, panel tomorrow, that's the plan. That's the plan. And Dr. Thunder says, wait a minute. About to go live talking about sugar babies deep dive. I'll try to be there. Right? Huh. Man. And once again, Salty, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And Black Toxic Masculinist, once again, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Don't forget walking fire extinguisher for real. Right? And Mr. Shook to You says, and thank you for the super chat, Willie D, who gave us the classic bald-headed O's. I remember that. Right? Huh. Man. Uh-oh. And Lion says, so what if we say, if you want to learn about black women, watch the Freaknik documentary? Exactly. Exactly. We watch white society put the thumb on the scales for black women and have black women regulate Negroes, and then we watch other quote unquote, bear with me here, well-meaning black men, quote unquote, do-gooder black men assist black women in regulating the Negroes. Huh. And Africa, from Africa I came, says, willful ignorance of black men's lives is crazy, isn't it? Huh? Everybody could regulate Negroes. White men, white women, black men, black women, non black people of color. Everybody can wag their fingers at black men. No, you should do better by black women. You should do better by black men. Right? Right? Everyone can wag their fingers at black women. Excuse me, black men for black women. And black men are just supposed to take that, once again, under the guise of constructive criticism and loving black women and advocating for black women against these aspirational wannabe patriarchs. These black men who want black men to be chocolate dipped white patriarchs. Never mind how many black women hold black men to this white patriarchal ideal. Never mind that. Huh. That includes, I gotta be so. Look, man. And I saw the little fine line that Skip was walking when he was speaking about black women because he know Mr. Z is not lying about many black women sounding like this. He just wanted to make it seem way smaller. That's why he said the black women I'm in community with, the black women I'm around. And that's why when I said about black women, he said, no, be part of community. He was walking a real fine line because he knows I'm not lying. Right? Diallo definitely knows I'm not lying. He knows I'm not making that up. Once again, it's the same thing, FD signifier. Go touch grass, go outside, because even if we were to concede the point, Z, it's only like a super minute group of black women. What did Diallo say? Black women have the most diverse range of seeing black men and seeing community and see there's such a diverse range of black women. That's not what the divorce rates say. Goddamn, that's not what the marriage rates say. Goddamn, how many black women are single with no children? Well, just single. If they're so diverse, how come they have so much of the same outcomes when it comes to men? And they don't even got to be black men. A diverse, wide array of black women who still come to the same conclusion. Men in general, definitely black men, need to be kissing our ass. They're diverse, except when it comes to men's role. Provide, protect, and shut up. That's the one thing they're not so diverse about. Provide, protect, and shut up. Grovel at my feet. Sing my high praises every day, all day. Because if it wasn't for black women, there would be no man. There would be no men. There would be no humans. Shout out to the black women who overtly said, yes, Diallo, it's a real thing. These brothers are older than me, but how many of y'all are around the same age as Diallo and y'all don't see it? Like, Diallo was speaking like Diallo and Skip were speaking like I'm in an alternate universe. It's the same way FD Signifier speaks. All these people, I don't know what type of superhuman black women they're around. But when they speak like, you weirdo, I gotta say the word, you weirdo incel black men that's part of this black manosphere that's on social media, on the internet. You weirdo, sexist, incel black men. This is not real. What you're talking about is not real. That's not a real thing. And even if it is, it's so minute. It's so small. Right? Saul says, Willie D said black men need to die when Brick Lady lied. F Willie D. I'll never forget. Doesn't that sound like the brother that takes it way overboard when we doing the yo mama jokes and then we flame him and then he just goes ballistic? Huh? And Ishmael says, let's keep it a stack Z. They gaslight the black manosphere. The black manosphere. They know damn well. They know. They know. Right? And once again, Mr. Shook to you, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. But that's how it's fascinating. Look at when people aligned. Willie D went after Dr. Jared Ball when Dr. Jared Ball did his second edition of his The Myth of Black Buying Power. And essentially Dr. Boyce Watkins, stuck Willie D on Dr. Jared Ball, right? And I could tell Willie D I don't think he fully comprehends what Dr. Jared Ball is saying about black wealth, which is great for Dr. Boyce Watkins because he gets to frame that for Willie D. You could tell by the way Willie D responded to Dr. Jared Ball that he didn't really understand what what Dr. Jared Ball was saying. It's not that black people are incapable. It's speaking about the systems in black people's way of acquiring wealth, right? And I'm bringing that up for this conversation to say Willie D will fly off the handle and not know what the hell he's talking about, right? And he will make these very declarative, right, exclamations, just, I said exclamation, sorry, proclamations, Jesus Christ, see, right? He'll make these proclamations and he'll be loud about it and boisterous about it, and he won't know what the hell he's talking about. So when you don't take a nuanced stance on something, and Mr. Z does this occasionally, right? And then you're found out to be wrong, that's even, you have to be even louder, as loud, if not louder, about your apology or how you messed up or how you misread the room or how you just were wrong. Salty says, exclamations too, you right. Proclamations and exclamations. Right? That's how the apology goes. Shout out to Ole and her panel after the Brickface situation when they told Van Lathan, apologize for what? Right? Because you can throw in, and it's encouraged for you to throw black men under the bus. A modern 21st century, if for you to show that you are arrived, that you know how to play with and entertain complex concepts, right? And you're a metropolitan 21st century black person, you got to throw black men under the bus. You cannot be a self-actualized, intelligent, right? Modern, metropolitan human being, a black person who's aware without throwing black men under the bus. That's a prerequisite. Whether you're black man or black woman or black child, if you're not waving your finger at black men, then you're somewhere stuck in the 1920s or something. Right? So think about what Willie D did here. Think about Consciously and Professor Odie. Even when they conceded, okay, we were wrong, it still was kind of in this swaggy way of like, okay, I misread, and I might have, you know what? I hear y'all. Okay, we might have did a little too much. That was two black men. FD said nothing. Even I told him on my panel. I told him, you might want to investigate that story more. You'll be surprised. You might want to. And he laughed off what I said. He never came back and said, oh crap. The most he did was on Twitter and say, oh, I feel a little weird about this. When he saw black women still defending Rhoda when it was insanely clear she lied. And you still saw black women saying, so what? And that's when FD was like, ooh, goddamn, okay, yeah, that feels a little weird. And that's the most he did. Huh? I think this Brickface situation, we needed that. Dear black men, I would argue even more than BLM, even with that goddamn mission statement and that internal memo that quote unquote leaked. Even more than that, we needed the Brickface Rhoda situation. You needed it because we realized early she was lying. We were saying it. We watched as people responded to us like we're this sexist, misogynistic. We're a-holes because this woman was clearly struck in the face with a brick, and us disgusting loser black men, right? We would lie. We would minimize her pain. just to score some points, excuse me, in this quote unquote gender war. And we let the story develop some more. And we let the story develop some more. Shout out to Daphne. And we let the story develop some more. And the police were like, "Yeah, we don't got no evidence." And she never really like finished this whatever it is claim. Yeah, she looked like she did this before, and oh no. And so when the story blew open how much she lied, and low key she was on the run for a little bit, we watched as black women stood their ground and said, "Yeah, I don't see nothing here. I don't care what black men are talking about. I don't care what the authorities are talking about." You watched, oh boy, Olay's panel was the best one when it came to this. You watch these women contort themselves in all type of ways to say, "Okay, okay, I don't think she should serve any justice. I don't think she should." Okay, what about community? I watched Van Lathan try so hard to say, "Okay, fine, she shouldn't serve any time." Okay, what about an apology to the community, to black men? You watch them say, "No." Dear Diallo Kenyatta, dear Skip Coons, this is what we're saying. This is what black women mean by community. Black women should be able to say and do anything, particularly concerning black men. They should be able to lie about being struck in the face by a black man and other black men watching and saying nothing. They should be able to lie about it, potentially be caught in the lie, and just go live their life like nothing happened. Watch other black men get, man, y'all remember for a good couple weeks after that story how many black women were using that to justify all type of insane rhetoric towards black men? See, I told you, black men don't know how to take no for an answer. You see, they're over here hitting women in the face with bricks because we tell them no. They don't know how to take rejection. Teach your sons how to take rejection. Like black men are the goddamn Mongols. They just horde of black men just coming through, taking heads off, throwing unalive bodies over the wall, biohazard, plague, and everything. And when the dust settled and it showed that Rhoda ran this scam a couple of times and she's a liar, here comes damage control. Professor Odie, Conscious Lee, still insulting black men and black women. Still, so what? Well, it does happen. It doesn't matter. It's the message. I don't care. I still got to see how black men responded, and that's what matters. Huh? And so finally, Conscious Lee and then Professor Odie relent. Okay. Damn, they're growling like dogs. Right? Fine, fine, fine. All right, black men. Like they're not black men. Okay, okay. Maybe, maybe y'all are, maybe y'all are right about this one. Like pulling teeth. That's two black men. Anybody heard anything from FD Signifier about it outside of him saying, "Okay, it kind of feels weird." Now, what about the black women? Oh boy. Huh? I see what you did there, Saul. That's funny. I see what you did there, so that's funny. Right? Huh? Right? What about the women? The women did and said nothing. They stood their ground still to this day. Apologize for what? What Drake said, nice for what? Apologize for what? Huh? And that to me has to be one of the most recent, best examples of where the black community is. A black woman gets to cry wolf, gets caught in the lie, and then I watch as black men and black women say, "So what, black men? Yeah, she took your image and drug it through the dirt. Doesn't matter, your image is already in the dirt, and it should be. Yeah, she lied on you, so yeah, she further inflamed the issue between black men and black women, so yes, she knew exactly what to say to enrage other black women, so yes, she said that a black man struck her for turning him down, and other black men stood there and watched and said nothing. So y'all do it for real. It don't matter. It doesn't matter if it was a lie, huh? And yes, she got caught. So what, huh? Right? Yeah. Yes. And Indigo says it was low key noble. Amanda Seals said that about Juicy. Yeah. Right. Further cheapening in America, where black people's lives are already in the mud anyway. Further cheapening black people's lives when you can make up these type of stories and then get caught, and now black people are supposed to still, do you understand how much you are playing with? The one thing black people have is to shame society, shame white folks. And yes, the appeals to humanity. Yes, I know, black people, it's not fair that we got to appeal to these people's humanity, and they may not have it, they don't have it concerning us. Yes, yes, you're right. But when you as a black person cheapen even that, Juicy Smouye, Rhoda, Amanda Seals, huh? And Indigo, you didn't even have to bring up that. Amanda Seals tried to pull low key that on that retired football player, huh? Yeah, it's another way of saying useful fiction. Yes, yes, from Africa came absolutely, huh? So that's why the Rhoda situation stands out, and Diallo and Skip. Now what? When we're speaking about the black community, this is what we're speaking about. Your sons are tired. You got to convince your sons. You got to convince the young men and the boys under the age of 30, black men and boys. Y'all got to have to convince them that community means ignoring black women's effery, because any type of critique is going to be either sexist or come from a sexist place. You got to ignore black women's effery, or you got to check yourself for a million years before you ever say anything to them, because you're going to probably respond to them in their effery, their lies, and their sexism, their aspiration to white manhood and white womanhood simultaneously. Yes, it's a thing. You can't say anything about it because are you sure, black man, you're not coming from a sexist place? Right? And Vincent says, if I didn't fall into this space, I'd probably been either had been a cleanup man or a father that stepped up. Oh boy, y'all saved me from being a walking wallet and trapped in a house with quarrelsome women. Oh man, right? Thank God for that, Vince, because we don't need another black man down, man down. Chief Key voice, right? We don't need another black man falls prey to, in case of emergency, break glass, the man that stepped up. It's interesting listening to women writ large, not just black women in this case, white women and Latina women, The way they rationalize stepfatherhood, and by the way, I don't know how much I am against being a stepfather. I'm against what women have turned being a stepfather into, which is a cleanup man. In case of emergency, break glass, right? I don't think black women, white women, Latina women, maybe even a couple of Asian women understand better yet, how insulting they've made being a stepfather. I don't think they really appreciate, oh, that's the men you're actually attracted to. Oh, he don't look nothing like your current husband. So that's how all your exes looked, and that's how they all acted, and that's what you're low key, high key, still sexually attracted to. But your husband, your children's stepfather, looks and acts like completely different? Huh. I don't think women fully appreciate, and even if they did, they wouldn't care because it's all about self interest. I don't think they fully appreciate how insulting it is. It's not just a ready-made family. We're being too simple with that. No, it's the idea that you still may not actually be attracted to this man. You still might not actually find this man appealing, but he'll do because you're using him as a goddamn safety blanket, as a life raft, as a parachute. You don't love him, you don't find him that interesting, but he's interesting enough for you to deal with him enough because you kind of have no other choice, and he finds you interesting, he finds you attractive, right? That's the issue that men have, particularly black men. I don't know about white men and Latinos and whatnot, that black men have with the idea of the man that stepped up. Oh no, you're not a stepfather, you're the man that stepped up. Corny, right? It's women. Thank you very much. The black masculinist says, hello, Shaq. It's women who, after you're divorced for over a decade at this point, double backs and says, I don't know if I was ever in love with him. Oh boy, Z, you about to say it. You made her. Imagine putting a woman in the lap of luxury. You are super rich and famous. Your name spans the globe. People know who you are around planet Earth. You are a 7 foot tall giant who moves like you're not a 7 foot tall giant. You could have played basketball, you could have played football. You chose to play basketball and dominate. And the woman that you chose, who already had a child, by the way, who you made your wife and had other children with, who you gave everything financially to, who forget needed for anything, wanted for nothing, turns around and says a decade later, I don't know if I was ever in love with that man. And then you got to smile, grin, and bear it and say, you know what? I understand. You imagine, right? You imagine. And then these people wonder why there's a black manosphere. So, Vince, I'm glad that you found this space. We're not about hating women. Most of us are still going to probably end up with black women. We're not about hating women or hating black women. We're not about black women. Know your place. It's the 21st century. Ain't nobody trying to. Shout out to Jason Black for coming around to this. That's not kind of what you were on before, Jason. Mr. Z been listening for a long time. Ain't nobody really trying to have women barefoot and pregnant. First, secondly, black men are not dictators. We're not trying to be white patriarchs. Ain't nobody like, shut up, woman. That's not how black men move. Shut up and make me a sandwich. That stop. Right? That's not what black men are on. But these people get to pretend. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. These people get to pretend. And I would much rather have Vince in this space, knowing his worth, not ending up being a cleanup man for a woman who doesn't appreciate you, who you save her and her child, and then she still turn around and divorce you in 7, 5, if it's a black marriage, probably 5, 5, 7, 10 years, and then telling her homegirls, I never loved him anyway. I really didn't want to be married. Huh? Imagine, once again, I brought this up yesterday. Shannon Sharp, they called it the graveyard for expensive bags. Shannon Sharp, full of expensive bags that he's bought for women, and they spoke to him crazy. Imagine. Huh. Right? That's the, it's the fact that we ignore black women's violence, black women's proxy violence in the black community is fascinating. We ignore their violence, we ignore their proxy violence, we ignore the DV rate amongst um, same sex loving black women. How quick black women are to get in people's faces, be physically aggressive, and literally strike other people. Strike children, strike men, strike other black women. We ignore that in the black community. We act like that's not a thing. I'll put money. Black women are putting their hands on more people in the black community than anyone else. That's the children and that's the men. I'm willing to put money that black women are putting their hands on men, women, and children more than men are and more than children are. And it's something we ignore in the black community. So once again, Vince, I'd much rather you be here, finish your schooling, meet you a good woman, black or otherwise. I prefer black women. But this idea that to be part of community in the black community, you need to allow black women to be verbally abusive, insult black men, belittle black men, intellectualize their misandry, emotional dog whistle to other black men to regulate black men. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Nope. Right? And when you listen to Skip speak and when you listen to FD Signifier speak, that's essentially what they're saying. Right? That's what the black community has been boiled down to. As I said before, black men provide, protect, shut up, and we'll call it egalitarianism. Don't exercise any of that power that comes with your money, your presence, your physical prowess, a good D game. Don't exercise any of that power. A good tongue game. Don't exercise any of that power. And we'll call it egalitarianism. Right? Men funds, women runs. We'll call that egalitarianism, right? And Indigo says, I was a stepfather once. I love the kids. It was the woman that made it miserable. Bro, I could have been one time. I was dating this baddie Jamaican Guam mix woman. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Had a little chocolate daughter. Cute. Smart. Funny as hell. It was possible. Once again, like you said, the woman was the issue, right? Huh. And if y'all recall talking about looks, when I was speaking to Skip, I don't know what, maybe because I said I was from South Florida, I'm from Miami, he was stuck on this idea that I'm looking for some type of Kim Kardashian type woman. And so I got to understand that those women are looking for the resources. And maybe that's my issue, is that I'm essentially what he was saying. Excuse me. I'm trying to date women outside of my league and try to make up for it with the money or that I don't have, or I'm trying to be smart and charismatic, but they looking for the money. And I don't know what he was on, but that's not what this is. And like that was some type of weird preconceived notion on Skip's part. I never allude. I don't know where he got that from. Even when I was posting the comments in the comment section, I don't know where he got that from. Skip, that's not my issue. My issue is not pulling women. First of all, I'm in a relationship. My issue is not pulling women. I'm telling y'all what the issue is. The women want pick and choose patriarchy. Mr. Z affectionately calls it patriarchy by feminist specifications. Yes, it doesn't make sense. That's the whole point. Huh? And for you to to think, or to not even just think because you said it, that yo, if you're trying to get the Kim Kardashian types, then you got to know, like, bro, that's not what we're on over here. First of all, I never found Kim Kardashian that attractive, so I know, sacrilege. I can't take her voice too, right? Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. And Mr. Shook to you says, Z, Skip was low key trying to play you because you are an FB or ADOS. I saw it. You saw how I sidestepped that, right? Because for those of you that haven't heard it yet, when I first called in, Skip was like, "Where you from?" And I said, and he was like, "No, where are your people from?" Right? And I said that, and I just let it go because what he was trying to say was essentially, "You're not here enough to be part of this conversation. You're not entrenched enough to be part of this conversation." Meanwhile, my girlfriend, maybe wife one day, is ADOS, mom side and dad side. Huh? Me too, Trill. Too bad she likes white dudes. But Trill says, I think Courtney is cute, but she like him white. Exactly. Exactly. Right? Huh. So this was a interesting conversation. Lions, tigers, bears, oh my. If the women choose the bears, so be it. If the women choose the bears, so be it. I'm not groveling and begging women and being laudatory of them every second of every day because men, particularly black men, tend to be bigger, stronger, and faster than women. What y'all want me to do? Go find God and be like, well, you need to make women bigger, stronger, and faster than men so we can be equal. So I don't have to grovel at their feet every 5 seconds. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I'm faster, bigger, and stronger than you. Let me show you how much of not a threat I am by putting my own hands behind my back all the time, especially in your presence. By putting handcuffs on myself because you feel frightened that I'm bigger, stronger, and faster than you. Choose the bear, ladies. Choose the bear. You have to understand what we mean. I do not care. Y'all keep on. The issue with the left in particular is they continue to let women snipe at men under. Okay, we're in fear of this, and men are mean like this, and men are insecure this way, and men just want women barefoot and pregnant. And they just get to intellectualize their misandry in a myriad of ways, and the men on the left just let it happen. Actually, they encourage it because they understand and they want to show that they're on the right side of history. And we watch as women say things that are contradictory to each other. We watch them insult men, belittle men, be sexist, be misandrist, be belittling, and we watch men on the left say, ugh. Right? Huh. Yeah, yeah, it happens. And Azrael says people are using that tether-ish to dismiss people from conversation that they don't want to confront. Yeah, yes, absolutely. And Longo says stronger, yes, faster for sure, bigger. Passport OG says call a bear, bro. I'm telling you. I think that's how we should. Hey, you see a woman on the side of the road and she has a flat, or you're walking to your car from the grocery store, and you see a woman struggling to put something in her car, and she give you that look, like, aren't you gonna help? Call the bear. Especially a younger woman. All those women under the age of 30 and 35 who you know on social media, because they tell us to touch grass because that's all they have. Sir, can you help me? Call the bear. By the way, these are the same women that spent the previous decade with the street harassment campaign and the right, all of that talk. If you're not a supremely attractive rich man and you're approaching her and she see you as an eyesore, then you should have known that she didn't want to talk to you anyway. Do not approach her. Then these women turn around this decade and say, where are all the men? Why aren't they approaching? Why aren't they going to speed and dating and matchmaking? And why aren't they? Nope. Huh? And like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And Salty says, defame, obsidian, proclaim, and exclaim, dope. Right? And thank you for the super chat. Telescope says 1-800 get bear. I'm telling you. And they act like, and for some of us, we actually didn't get it. And I had a problem with that, to be honest with you. But they act like we didn't get it. Like, no, we're not saying that we think the bear is less violent than you. What we're saying is that the bear is not going to prey on us and be sadistic about it. Right? The bear isn't going to try to grape us. Dear ladies, I understand. I still don't care because I know what black women and women in general intellectualizing their misandry is. Go after the elite rich white men that you want and leave us the hell alone. All of this intellectualizing your misandry, and shame on all of you men who act like y'all don't understand what women are doing. No, y'all don't get it. No, we do get it. You don't. Damn, I dropped my glasses. Even my glasses were like, goddamn, Z, right? No, we get it. You don't. The women are intellectualizing their misandry. They're finding interesting and creative ways to intellectualize their misandry towards average men. We get it. Are you sure you do? That part too. And G says, no, they're saying the bear doesn't give them the ick, right? Indigo says, no matter how many ways they try to explain the bear thing, they only sound stupid or F them, right? And that's all it is. It's just, look, we're not saying that we don't know that the bear is stronger in the bite force, and and if it swipes us with its claw, and we get it. No, what we're saying is, when we're walking down the street, if we see a bear and we see a man, we're more frightened of the strange man because, they might grape us and they might catcall us. They might chase us down the street. No, ladies, we understand what you're saying. What we're saying is we know this is another way for average women to intellectualize their misandry towards average men, and all of these freaking do-gooder ass men acting like they don't get it. Even more frightening if they don't get it. For Diallo to say, watching these men really think that the women are saying that they don't understand that the men the bears are bigger or etc. Whatever he was saying. No, Diallo, bro. Oh my God, it's frightening. Uh, huh. Yeah, it's white knight ish, right? And Compassionate says, you're not scared of 1,000-pound bear compared to the dad bod man with low T. Shut the shut the F up, man. Right? Man. And so, look, man, like I said, I get it. I get what the ladies are trying to do. I get the question. I get the response. To be frank with you, I don't care. I am so sick and tired of women intellectualizing their misandry for not rich, wealthy men, white, rich, wealthy men. And I'm watching other men play patty cake with them. I want to be very clear. For Z, it's not the thought experiment. That's not the problem. The problem is that anyone's even entertaining the women in the first place. That's why I didn't cover it until now. I knew what it was. It's women trolling men. It's women intellectualizing their misandry towards average men. How dare you? They're mainly talking to white men. How dare you try to be patriarchal with no money? What? Ew! You're trying to be the man with no money? How dare you think you can be a man without any money? Without any insane status in this society? How dare you? Disgusting, right? Meanwhile, Skip is talking about um negotiating your humanity. As if women see men without money, status, power, good peen as human. Exactly, Trail. Trail says it's giving broke, right? Huh. So it doesn't matter what the women are trying to say. F them. Tell them go get the bear. 1-800-BEAR. Shout out to Passport OG. 1-800-GET-BEAR. No, what you're trying, what you don't understand what we're trying to do here. We're trying to defang you. We're trying to tell you that you need to grovel at our feet every second of every day so we don't feel threatened by you. We're trying to tell you to make sure that every time you step in a room and women are in there or a woman's in there, that you make sure to tell her that you're not a threat and you make sure to make her feel secure every second of every day. It goes back to what Black Uru said forever ago now. Imagine being in a world where half the population is just inherently bigger, stronger, and faster than you. And so, what women are saying in the 21st century, as women advance in our society, that their new thing that they're grappling with is they want elite men to make the rest of us grovel at women's feet every second of every day. Because although women are coming into more money and status and they're elevating in the society, there's one thing they can never accomplish writ large is to be bigger, stronger, and faster than the XY chromosome side of the population. Does that mean that Ronda Rousey can't beat many of our ass? No, she can. But can she beat the men in the MMA's ass? Uh-oh. Does that mean Serena can't beat just about all of us in tennis? No, she can. But what about the men in tennis? Uh-oh. And that's the problem that women are having now. No matter what they do or accomplish in our society, they can't get over the physical hurdle for the men in their general weight and size division. So what they're telling elite men and what they're telling our academics is to make these men bow to us. Now you want to talk about what's not understood? Do you get that, Diallo? Do you get that, Skip? That's what the women are actually saying. It only took me about 2.5 hours to get to it. That's what the women are actually saying. That it's not fair that biologically men are stronger, bigger, and faster than women. So make men who are bigger, stronger, and faster than women know their place under women who are more educated than them, who might be more advanced than them in our society, who might have climbed the social, the political, the economic ladder. And the one thing that men have over them, men writ large, men in their circle, is that these men are bigger, stronger, and faster. So the only thing that we can use to resolve this is getting men, other men, to regulate those men. Right? Huh. That's my point. And Leon says it's more to it than that. They want to regulate men's nature. They want to regulate men, period. This once again is aspiring for white womanhood. Elite rich white womanhood. Dear elite rich white men and a handful of you black men and handful of you Latinos and Asians, regulate all the rest of those dudes further down. I don't feel secure in their presence. When I'm on the train in New York, when I'm on the bus in DC, when I'm on the trolley in San Francisco, I'm still around men who are bigger, stronger, and faster than me. And the fact that I'm more educated than them and I earn six figures and I have my own home and I advanced in this society means nothing because he could get to my neck before y'all could get to him. So we raise these boys that no matter what I say, no matter what I do, even if I get physical with him first, he's supposed to do nothing. Take this all the way back to that black woman, that educator who was on that panel with Themis. What did she say? We need to raise our black boys that no matter what the girls do to them, and for those of you who never heard it, you're hearing it the right way. Yes, you had a black woman who's somewhere in the education field say to Themis and the rest of the women on that panel, yes, Themis. Yes, the LGBTQ Themis. Black girls should be able to hit black boys. They're going to hit black boys. We need to raise black boys not to hit them back, not to strike them back. I want to be very clear, just in case anybody just in case Diallo is listening or Skip is listening, they're not listening, but just in case, understand what Z is saying. This woman said, yes, you heard right. Girls are going to hit boys. Black girls are going to hit black boys. We need to raise black boys not, once again, not to hit black girls back. No matter what she does, she can strike you. We need you to learn not to strike her back. Right? Yeah, y'all heard right. Right? Yes, you heard right. Right? And Indigo says that call was appalling. And Indigo, if you remember correctly, in the beginning, the women in the panel or the women in the chat thought she was trolling. They were telling Themis, "Hey, put her down, X her off." Right? They were all pretty much calling her crazy. She was off her rocker. Indigo, if you remember correctly, slowly but surely, some of them started coming around. Uh-oh. Some of them started being like, you know what? She got a point. You know what? She's right. Yeah. When we hit them, they hit us back so hard. They're trying to break us. Don't worry if that video is still up on, if that live is still up on Themis channel, go through those live comments. You'll see, but all of them are against her in the beginning, and then slowly but surely, more and more of them start coming around to, you know what? Yeah, she got a point, right? She got a point, exactly, right? Exactly, huh? Yeah. In the beginning, even Themis thought it was stupid in the beginning, right? Huh? Because even Themis was like, wait a minute, no, I don't believe that anyone should be hitting anyone. And she was like, and I loved it. What's beautiful about women like her, women like Ebony, women, no, they're very blatant about it. It's everybody else who got to start making excuses for them. You gotta love the women who's so blatant, and that's where the test really is. When they leave no space for interpretation, no room for interpretation, right? And they say it so blatantly, and then you watch everybody else start making excuses for them. Themis heard what she said. No, Themis. I'm saying girls are gonna hit boys. She said it. She said the girls are going to hit the boys. Period. We're going through things. We might be on our cycle, and the girls are going to hit the boys. You need to raise the boys, not to hit the girls back. Then what was beautiful is watching the comment section tap dance and try to maneuver and tie themselves in the right. That was the interesting part. And watching Themis grapple with that. Themis is a whole attorney, y'all. And thank you, Passport OG. I think this is the link. For those of you, click the link. Passport OG has it right here. Thank you, Passport OG. Right. And this is the same thing we saw with Brickface. This is the same thing we saw for some in the black community with Juicy Smoulier. Right. This is the same thing we see going on with Shaq and Shawnee. This is the same thing we saw with BLM in that mission statement and that internal memo. This is the same thing we see with Tia Mowry. They say and do super blatant, in your face, the anti-black man often things, and then we watch other people try to make excuses for them. Huh? Cynthia G. Well, you have to understand, Cynthia G was talking about deleting unborn black males, and you watch the black community say, well, Kevin Samuels was saying we were shaped like linebackers, we were built like linebackers. He wasn't talking about deleting unborn black babies. He wasn't talking about deleting unborn black girls. It's not the same. Huh? You watch the black community contort itself with the Cynthia G's of the world, with Brickface Rhoda, with Shawnee O'Neal. Huh? Wow. Nope. And Compassionate says, "Did y'all see?" Put the link in the comments. And Compassionate says, "Did y'all see Whoopi talking about loving one night stands still at 60 plus? Ish was cringe." I told y'all negative liberty, man. Negative liberty. No coercion, no restraints, no quote unquote limitations. Black women are not. I would argue the majority of black women have a very toxic relationship with negative liberty. They're saying the word freedom. That is not what they mean. They mean negative liberty. That's why community won't work. Diallo and Skip, because you think black women want liberation. Maybe some really mean it, but more black women than y'all would like to believe, they're not looking for community, because community comes with rules, that comes with regulations, that comes with things that you can and can't do. Black women, I would argue, more than y'all would like to believe, are not about quote unquote community. They're about negative liberty. Community, they use it as a safety net, as a in case of emergency break glass, as a I did this wrong thing, I did something foolish, let me go run to community as clean up people, clean up men, black men. I'm tying that to Whoopi by saying this is a 60-something-year-old woman just out here. This is why black women can't be married to straight black men. They can't even be in relationship with other black women. This is why there's a high ass DV rate. This is why so many of black women are bi, because there's even rules in the same sex loving world. That's why you got butch, same sex loving lesbian women cheating on their girlfriends with dudes. This is why you have straight black women cheating on their good black husbands with white men that they work with black women that they work with that are their friends. Huh? You got black women married to white men cheating on their white husbands with black men. You got black women married to black men cheating on their black husbands with white men. You got black women in relationship or married to black men cheating on those black men with black women. Huh? You have 30 some odd year old and 40 some odd year old black women having sex with underage black boys and young black men, because rules. For who? Not for me. Standards. For who? Not for me. Right? Huh. It's negative liberty. Women, black women, are saying the word and using the word freedom. That is not what it is. It's negative liberty. Because if the black community was full of free black people that still had to look out for other black people, there was still some rules here, some hard and fast rules. Black women still don't want that. Why? Rules. That part. And the black community is going to really have to grapple with the women. Did you hear me, Diallo? With the women, Skip, did you hear me? With the women, FD signifier, Dr. Jared Ball, did you hear me? With the women, Dr. Boyce Watkins, did you hear me? With the women, Willie D, did you hear me? With the women who said, F that, that sounds like rules and regulations. Absolutely not. See, when I'm saying community, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a group of men who let me do whatever I want to do. And then when I find myself in a awkward situation, awkward position, giggity, that they come and save me from my own decisions. That's what I mean by community. I don't mean community the way y'all mean it. Y'all talking about rules and regulations and things we got to do and how we got to look out for each other. Oh, no, 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 no. I want to be all about me and be selfish and be self-interested and be self-centered like men, be like white men. That's what I mean by that. I mean, I get to do whatever I want to do, and then when I crash into the wall, y'all come and patch me up again. I don't know what y'all talking about when y'all mean community, when y'all say community. And KMS says, and thank you for the super chat. Question: Bears aren't known to be monogamous. Uh-oh. Will fidelity be an issue for those women? KMS over here asking the serious questions, right? And also, if the bear is a high value teddy and concerned the salmon market, that bear have a harem. Asking for a friend. Wow. Also, if the bear is a high value teddy and concern oh, I said concern. Sorry. That's why I was confused. Okay. Also, if the bear is a high value teddy and cornered the salmon market, can that bear have a harem? Asking for a friend. So if we were to let's go all the way. Oh, fine. Okay, fine. Serious question. Serious question to a funny situation, or vice versa. Funny question to a serious situation. If status is your goal, which it is for many people, this is not just a black woman thing or a black thing, which is the goal in a quote unquote advanced society like America. If status is the goal, then yes, absolutely. If you are a high value teddy, hysterical. If you're a high value bear and you corner the salmon market, so you got all the fish, you the rich bear. You handing out salmon, right? You're like Jeff Bezos. You handing out $100,000 worth of, oh, sorry, not even 100,000, $100 million worth of salmon. You got that type of salmon. You could just hand out $100 million worth of salmon. If you're that type of bear, yes, yes, you can have a harem, but you're not supposed to say it, right? So yes. Uh oh. Trell, how do you know that? Uh oh. And Trell says, my neighbor is 60 plus, and she stayed bringing over snacks and stuff for the kids. She's good with the eggplant too. Oh boy, good suction on the eggplant. How do you know? Uh, oh man. And Mr. Shook to you says, and thank you for the super chat. Bears don't respect the gynocracy. Your cat won't work. Hysterical. Oh man, that's funny. Not Trail over here getting 60-year-old suction. Oh boy, Trail, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Screw that, I'm gonna do it. Trail, is that with or without the dentures? God damn, Z. Oh no, not the suction without the dentures. Oh man. Vixen, you said the quiet part outroar. Not out loud, outroar. Oh man. See? Exactly. And compassionate is can have a community with momonym playing sexual politics for the same men viable daughters want. Uh-oh. Trail said with. Oh. Well, you're not getting the best part if it's with if the dentures are on. Goddamn. No, I'm playing. I'm playing. I'm playing. She still has her teeth. Oh man. Man, Mr. Shakti said I'm trying to see what that be like. Hey, but low key, so when I was in my mid early 20s, I used to work at an AutoZone down here in South Florida. And there was this bad lighter skinned Jamaican woman that came into the store once. And I promise you, she was in her late 50s, is not mid to late 50s, but she was bad, right? She was bad. I was in my early to mid 20s, and I didn't care. And she came in there a couple times, but she came to the store a couple times, and she was bad. And, like I said, attractive black women are attractive. It's everything else that's the issue. Goddamn. Attractive black women are attractive across varying ages. When you meet you an attractive, light skin, brown, caramel, copper skin, darker skin, midnight black woman, they're attractive. Physically attractive, whether she's slim, thick, super thick, slim, what, right? Little booty, tiggle bitties, bee stings, whatever you're into, if she's attractive to you, she's attractive. That don't be the issue. For those of us that look like them a little bit plus size, that's not the issue. Let her start speaking, and then we got an issue. Even for older black women, attractive older black women are still, as a matter of fact, I think that's when black women really start beating out everyone else. If she could stay relatively fit, you want to talk about black women looking good well into their 50s, maybe even 60s? Non-black women don't got nothing on black women after, especially after the age of like 45. If she keep herself up, emphasis on the word if. The operative word is if. Right? So yeah, if she is a 60-year-old baddie, then so be it. Right? Man. So yeah. Oh man. Trail killed it. Oh yeah, that derail was important. That was good. That brought some levity to the conversation. That was funny. That was funny. Look, man, hey man, we gotta get it how we live. We gotta get it how we live. Good point. Passport OG says black women are the most beautiful women on the planet and for longer. That might be the root of the problem. Yeah, that black don't crack is a problem. For those of us that seen those different videos and pictures of the black younger women who showed their moms, and the mom be super bad and she'd be like 40-something years old. God damn, she bad. As a matter of fact, move out the way, daughter. Let me get to your mom real quick, right? And yeah, that might be the issue because, and I think that's one of the reasons why you see these weird ass age gap, quote unquote, dating, right? Including now that people are paying attention to it more and more with the celebrities. But shout out to Vic, we know that's been going on in the hood forever. 17, 18, 19, 20-year old young black men, black boys smashing 20 something year old, 30 something year old, 40 something year old black women. That's one of the most open kept secrets in the hood. And black women never, bro, it ain't black. This is the thing. I think black women will run from that even faster and more than secretly having sessions with white men. I think you'll get black women to concede that they have sex with white men more than we think. I think they'll concede that before they concede that they out here having sex with 18 and 19 and 20, because I'm not even going to tell them to admit that they having sex with 17-year-olds. They're doing it. I won't even ask them to admit that. They won't even admit they're having sex with 18, 19, 20-year-old young black men, and they're in their 30s and 40s. Right? I think you'll get them to concede that they're having these sessions with white men secretly while they claim all this pro-black stuff, because they can make they can make an excuse for it. Oh, I was lonely, and you got to understand the colorism of the black community. I just wanted to feel appreciated. He told me I was cute. He was the first person that ever complimented my hair, and et cetera, et cetera. So I think they'll admit that first because they can find a way to excuse it while they talk all this pro-black stuff. I think they'll admit that first, then admit that she's 37 and 38 and 42 out here having not just one steamy session. No. Having sessions with a 20-year-old and a 21-year-old and a 22-year-old and a 25-year-old, and she's 42. Right? Shout out to Miss Shook to You, and Mr. Shook to You says, not gonna lie, my wife looks great in her 40s. These up and coming 20-year-olds fall off so much faster. Shout out to Mr. and Mrs. Shook to You. Vic says, smash my first 30 plus woman at 17. Man, I'm saying. I didn't, but I have a cousin that did. 30 something year old when he was 17 also. Right? And we're more likely not to speak about it than the girls are who these men prey on. Right? And because it's a bit more accepted that the boys are sleeping with and the young men are sleeping with women way older than them, possibly their mother's age, that even if those women are found out, I don't even know if we give them street justice. It's just, okay, stop messing with my son. All right. Right? And that's if it's ever found out. And I wonder if anyone's ever going to have the conversation, Z, you're going to go there. How many of these women are turning out young black girls? Ooh. Young black girls and young black women. Does anyone want to have the conversation about how many of these women, and believe it or not, I'm talking about the femme same-sex loving women. How many of these femme same-sex loving women are turning young black stud same-sex loving women into the fallback plan and putting all the pressure of cleanup man on this young black woman? Y'all remember the story we covered a couple years ago of that young stud who said her girlfriend's grown-ass children don't respect her. Y'all remember that story? She was essentially saying this woman's grown ass children don't respect her as the man. Oh boy. As their stepdad. Yikes. Right? I'm saying though, DJ Scan says cleanup stud. That's a real thing. That's a real thing. And think about it. If you're a black woman, you are insufferable. You can't make it work with black men. You tried the white man or Latino man thing. Obviously, that didn't work. They just smashed and tossed. You either come back to the black community and hope to find you a lame that doesn't care or a lame that doesn't know, or you end up with a black woman. And for many of them, they choose to be with the black woman. Exactly. And Trell says Studsbin, Studsbin, and Stud Daddy. And Compassionate says clean up Stud Daddy, bro. I'm not gonna read that last one out loud though, Compassionate. Right? It's a real thing. It's a real thing. And the funniest thing is both of them be cheating on each other with dudes. The stud and the femme. Both of them are cheating on each other with dudes. Because once again, negative liberty, and black women just don't want to follow no rules, even same-sex loving rules. Huh? With FD signifiers saying, oh, they want autonomy and security. No, they want no rules, Playboy. They want no rules, no regulations, no standards. They just want to freestyle and do whatever they want to do. And if they accidentally on purpose fall off the edge of a cliff or whatever consequences, the black community is supposed to come around black men and save them from the consequences that are their actions. Look, I can't even read. That's funny, Compassion. That's the funniest one, though. That's the funniest one. Oh, Namer said, Alexa, play on the download by R. Kelly. Secret, low key, funny, download low key. That's really black women. I'm just saying. Exactly. Passport OG says, no rules, no community. Exactly. Isn't it? DJ Scan says, it's hysterical. And it really is hysterical. Right? And Mr. Shoot to You says, bears don't respect the gynocracy. Your cat won't work. For real. And thank you for the super chat. And it's true. And it's true. Right? So let me pause right here, y'all. Let me pause right here. Y'all go check out I think Dr. Thunder should be still streaming. The Raj Report is coming on soon, so we will pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. I definitely wanted to speak about this. Lions, tigers, bears, oh my. And that someone said to put it on who was it? Whose song was it? Was it Chrisette Michelle or was it Jasmine Sullivan? I don't know why I get them mixed up. Don't ask. Don't ask. Who had the Lions, Tigers, and Bears song? So that might be going in the description box. Oh, and Roger's show today, and yeah, so that might be going in the description box. So I definitely wanted to address this, hit a couple of points. I do come on around the hour and 40 some odd minute mark or something like that. I think something around there. It's a little bit after the hour and 40 some odd minute, 40-minute mark. Yeah, but y'all listen to them speak, and you'll see that Diallo gets it. He really, Jasmine Sullivan. Thank you, DJ Scan. Right? He gets it. It's just once again, we believe that black women are more moral than black men. I said this to FD Signifier. He said he doesn't believe that, and possibly he doesn't. But I do think that Skip definitely believes that. Excuse me. And as much as Diallo will kind of get on black women for some of their actions and some of their aspirations. I think he believes that also. And Mr. Shook to you says 1 hour and 47 minutes. So that's when I start speaking to Diallo and Skip. You guys, the 1 hour and 47 minute mark. Thank you, Mr. Shook to you. Thank you. Yeah, I used to. Yeah, I used to. And Trell says I get K Michelle and Keisha Cole confused. Okay, remember Keisha Cole is the one that dated Jeezy, not K Michelle. K Michelle is the swirler divester one. She's the one. Men aren't good people after Ryan Lochte had his way with her. That's the difference, right? They do look like they could be related too, so it make it worse, right? So yeah, Keisha Cole dated Jeezy. K Michelle was the fun toy for Ryan Lochte for a little bit, coming out here talking about men aren't good people, and Derek Jackson trying to be like, no, that's not it. Shut up. Ah, that's hysterical. And Vic says, one says she's not black, the other one thinks she's not black. Jeez. That's funny. Oh, that's funny. Sad, but funny. Right? Of course he did. Diallo told me I need to provide him with citations proving the 80-20 rule. You know what the issue we have here is? These men think when women, quote unquote, not even quote unquote, when women settle for the other 20% to make it 40% of these men who are having children and getting married, at least getting married, we're not talking about divorce here, they think that actually counts. So when we say the 80-20 rule, when we're talking about the men that women prefer, not the men that women settle for when they can't get that top 20%, those men think that means something. That fundamentally what we have with a lot of pro-blacks is a fear of intersexual dynamics. They fear actually going into it because it's going to explain way more of what black women are on, and it's going to show how many black women actually, they may not care for the white peen, but they're entertained for the lifestyle. Ooh. They don't actually want to speak about women's hypergamy, not women's hypogamy, not women equality. No, not equity. No, hypergamy. Oh, GC says, yeah, no, I saw it. I saw it. I actually spoke about it earlier. And GC says, I don't know if you saw Z, but I linked the tweet from the billionaire saying it was a fake quote under your last video. Yeah, I struggled to find it, and then Big Kev actually sent me the exact link. So yeah, no, I actually spoke about that earlier. And yeah, and I already gave my apologies because I was so busy trying to kind of counter Yanni and her subscribers in this type of conversation that I didn't do my own fact checking, and that's my fault, right? Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Shug to you. Let's say that again. And this is a great comment. And Mr. Shug to you says, anything outside of the top 20%, a woman will make you pay a tax in subtle ways. Shout out once again, and maybe we got to start sending them all these videos of real black women. That's real black women in real life. Not all of them are IG models or Kim Kardashian, Skip. Real black women that say provide, protect, and shut up. That's a real thing. Real black women that say if you don't earn the money more than me, you are the B in the relationship. That's a real black woman. Her name is Keita Rose. Real black women who say, if I earn more than you, I will belittle you. She didn't say it might be debatable. I might do it, subconsciously. No, she said, I will belittle you. Let's say that again. If I earn more money than you, I will belittle you. Real black women that says, oh, I don't gotta be loyal to black men. I could go get me an Asian man. I could go get me a white man. I could go get me a Latino man verbatim. That's real black women. And no, they're not all Kim Kardashian IG models. Stop. What? What are you talking about, Skip? Huh? Real black women that say, why are black women always told to settle? White women aren't told to settle. Real black women that say, I want to be a kept woman of leisure. And what is the incentive? Translation. What is the incentive to end up with one of these average ass black men? These are real black women, Skip. Real black women. Every time I say Skip, I think about what's his name off of what was it, ESPN? The white dude. No, 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 not the white dude. I think about Shannon Sharp saying it to the white dude, right? To Skip. Funny enough. But yeah, Skip, that's real black women, Skip. That's real black women, Diallo. Not just a white person trolling and pretending to be a black person. Not a white 17, 16, 15-year-old on the internet trolling and pretending to be. No, these are real black women and you can see their real faces. Skip Bayless, yeah. Skip Bayless. Thank you, neighbor. Right? So this is my response, my long ass response to I don't know why brain fart, sorry y'all. To Skip and to Diallo Kenyatta. This is my real ass response to them because um this framing of a lot of black people, pro blacks, hoteps, where it's this black women are these super dainty, innocent creatures that wouldn't harm a fly until black men come in with their patriarchy and their wannabe white manhood thing and put black women on the back foot and black women have to respond to this. No, no, no. Right? That's not the world we're in. Stop it. Right? So on that note, y'all, we will truly pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great, great, great rest of y'all day. Um, we might be doing a panel tomorrow. Let's see. If not Sunday, but we should be doing a panel tomorrow. That's kind of still up in the air. We'll see. Um, yeah, man. Like I said, I do think Diallo is well-meaning. I do, but once again, when you put this, when you put a moral weight or more, when you give black women this moral compass and you put them on this moral pedestal above black men, it puts black men and black women in this very interesting position where you're always defending black women from black men because black men are the problem. Right? Oh God, I'm being summoned. Mr. Shit to you says, love to hear Z do a deep dive on the black wife effect. I've touched on it a little bit. I'll get into it. It's annoying, especially when you see that actual interracial marriage rate for black women. It's not right. Yeah, it's a joke. I get black women and their I want to say advertisement like a British person, but they're advertising right like a UK person advertisement, but they're advertising to white men. This is not about black men. That whole black wife effect. Yeah, they're jabbing at black men. Yeah, they're kind of trying to jab at black men, poking black men in the eye. But it's really not about us. This is them attempting to appeal to white men because of the draft and because of the soft guy era. Right. That's what that really is. And y'all should have never let me hear. And I actually heard it, by the way. The sister that said to Obsidian, black women still feel a way about Kevin Samuel. So they're essentially doing everything to spite black men at this point, especially on social media. Everything they're coming up with, everything they're saying, because we don't know what they're saying behind the wall, right? So everything they're saying, everything they're doing right now, all these trends are to get back at all these black men that supported Kevin Samuels. They're trying to get back at Fresh and Fit. So everything they're saying, and this is leaking out into the real world. Shout out to FD Signify for actually admitting that part, although Skip and Diallo refused to admit that part. At least FD Signifier was willing to admit, okay, this might have gone a little too far with the anti-black man rhetoric, and it's leaking out into the real world. At least we got him to admit that. Now, what he's gonna do about that? Absolutely nothing. But okay, fine. You take your little victories where you could get them, right? But yeah, so they're gonna continue to try to spite black men because of Kevin Samuels, even though he's been gone for 2 years. So be it, right? Are you not embarrassed? Exactly, Mr. Shrink to you. Oh man, shout out to Toya for actually finding the clip for me. But yeah, the African sister. Are you not embarrassed? It's the look on her face when she did it too. It was way too exaggerated, which is the point, right? Which is the shout out to the Caribbean folks and African folks, more African brothers and sisters that don't really have a connection to America. They haven't been here, so they're only getting. There's certain nuances that you have to be in America to really get. So even when you're trying to imitate Black American culture, if you haven't really interacted with it like in depth, then you miss the little nuances. And so when you do or you say or you have certain facial expressions or certain phrases, it comes off a little weird because you're like, you're missing. There's this je ne sais quoi, there's this little nuance, these little cultural markers that you're missing when you're attempting to imitate these things. You can even tie this to the Drake and Kendrick beef when he called Rick Ross racist for calling him a white boy. It's like, see, you're not here, so you don't get it. Or when he didn't realize the trap, right, of Kendrick. Like you don't realize the short giants, Negroes that's raised in the hood. See, Yachty don't get it neither because he was raised in the burbs. There's these little nuances, these cultural markers. You could tell when the air is tense, somebody's about to get punched, right? There's these markers that you miss when you're not in it. You're not in the muck. You didn't grow up in it. You don't know these things. And even if you don't grow up in it, your parents didn't grow up in it, so they can't even show you or tell you, right? It's important. You have to be part of the environment. You have to be in it to get it. And like being Haitian descent, I miss that, right? There's a lot of like these little cultural things, these like, we used to have cousins that used to go back and forth and they would come with new Haitian slang. You'd be like, what the hell? But because I'm not there, right? I didn't grow up there. I wasn't born there. So you hear that, oh, that's the new word. Okay, cool. Right? Like bout that life in Creole is actionnaire. That means you bought that action. We don't say about that action. We say actionnaire. Right? There you go. I remember when that word started. I was like, what? Right? But it means about that life, about that action. Right? So, yeah. I don't know. That was just a random tangent that I just went on. And Pastor Jesus says, this is why I rock with Z. He knows what he doesn't know, man. You have to. It's embarrassing when it's embarrassing when you do too much or you think you know, and then see, I just had to apologize earlier. Right? Just saying. Man. So on that note, y'all, we will pause right here truly. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great rest of y'all day. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. All right, y'all. Z out.